Welcome to another video. Today's video, I'm gonna be working back in my 67 Mustang. I'm gonna be replacing my rear leaf springs. So I'm gonna show you how to do that in a 65 to 69 Mustang. Stay tuned. First thing I'm gonna do is jack up the car. If you have a lift, this makes it a lot easier, but I don't. So I'm gonna jack it up. I'm gonna put jack stands on the front here so it holds the actual body of the car, and that way it lets the differential droop down. I'm gonna then control how much it droops down. Pretty much, I mean, you can leave it as is, but you wanna make sure that the body is supported when you take the leaf springs out, because you don't want it to be loose. So you want the differential separate from the body. So we want to support the body and then support the differential. I mean, we could put jack stands on the bottom of that or just the jack, but just that way when you take off the bolts for the leaf springs, that you know, if you only put jack stands underneath the differential, the body's gonna try to drop down because the leaf springs are not attached to it. So keep that in mind. Put jack stands on the body. If you have a lift, obviously the lift is going to pull on the body, and then you support your differential. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get underneath. Okay, so I went ahead and got the car jacked up. Got the jack stands over there. Now what I'm going to start, I'm just going to do one side at a time, just so, you know, not to kind of complicate things. So I do have to remove the shock here, and then these 4 bolts, and this should, you know, it's going to loosen the U-bolts and everything. This should come down. Now normally you won't have these track bars on yours, so you don't have to worry about this. I'm hoping that when I get this loosened up, I can just, you know, drop this a little bit here, and then it looks like I did have the leaf springs off from the front at some point, because I do see energy suspension bushings up front, which I think I'm gonna transfer over to the new ones. And then same back here, I have the energy suspension kit, and I'm gonna transfer these bushings to the new ones. There's bolts on these here, so this bottom one with the exhaust, I can't take it out, so I'm gonna take it out from the top bolt, and then take the bolt out on top and slide the whole thing off, and then I can take the bottom one off. So once I do that, then I'll do the front, same thing, and I should be able to get this leaf spring out, put the new one in, bolt everything back one side at a time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna put it on time lapse while I take all these things off, loosen them up. The only hard part that would be for anyone is if your bolts are really rusted in there, they might not come off easy. Same with the ones up here on the hanger, or the big bolt that goes all the way through. If your car is, you know, got some rust or just has never been apart, it might be really hard to get that bolt out loose all the way out. So, and that would be the hardest part. But other than that, like I said, since it looks like I already took that one out, it shouldn't be too hard for me to do this here. Let's get started. Okay, so went ahead and removed the one leaf spring. Just be careful when you are taking the hanger on this side, on the back. You know, depends on where it might have some pressure going up. So once you take the bolt, you know, it might kind of move up a little bit. Same, you know, once you take it off of the differential, the U-bolts, it's gonna drop if you have it off the back. So just be careful so that your face is not in the way. at this point. So I'm gonna move the bushings on the front because the new ones didn't come with those, and then this on the back. I was thinking of moving them over, so I'm gonna see how hard these ones are to take out now that they've been in there a little while. Obviously these are brand new, so it's not a big deal, but they are rubber. So but those front ones I do have to switch out the polyurethane ones. Those are pretty new, so I'll just switch them out and then we'll put them back on. Okay, went ahead and moved over the bushings from the old one to the new one. Now I'm just gonna install this back in there. So reverse of taking it out, I'm gonna push it in, put the bolt on in the front, and then raise it up. I'll probably put the hanger here back first and then do the U-bolts there in the middle. The little dimple there that goes in the rear end, it's longer in the new one, so I'm just gonna make sure that that goes all the way in, because the old one, it was shorter, so I just want to make sure it goes all the way in, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I went ahead and tightened up everything. So if you do have an air impact or a, I guess, cordless impact, makes it a lot easier to bolt everything down. For the hangers, you really can get something impact up here. Same with the front, but pretty easy. I would say it's about an hour per side. And that's just doing it on the floor. If you have a lift, probably way easier than that. So everything is done. I'm just gonna move over to the other side, do the exact same thing. The only difference is now I'm gonna take off the U-bolt nuts first, let that drop, and then I'll take off, lower the jack a little bit. I'll take off the hanger up here, and then do the front. Okay, so the driver's side is all done. Same thing. I will recommend guiding the pin here first and kind of putting this all hand tight before bolting this down. Because once you bolt this down, if that's not lined up, it's not gonna move, and you're gonna try to kick and scream and cuss at it a little bit, and it's not gonna move. So don't do this side until you do that. Okay, so after installing the new leaf springs, the car does sit quite a bit higher. I would say about 2 inches higher than before. And that is kind of expected when you put new springs. You know, that's the reason I put new ones, because the old ones I think were pretty tired. And so I haven't taken the car for a drive. Once you drive it, they should settle down. My goal was for them to be at least half an inch higher than the other ones were. I liked the look, but it was just rubbing here. The tire was rubbing on my fender, and I just, you know, anytime I would drive, it would just be hitting on the bumps. And so I didn't like that as far as, you know, for me, because, you know, I like to drive my car. So I'm gonna drive it a little bit and then see how much it settles. I'm gonna try and do that here soon, so that way I can put hopefully a clip here. Or maybe I'll just do like a small reel of when it settles, how it looks. But if you're doing the springs on your Mustang, more than likely, you know, if you want to race it, go ahead and put new leaf springs. It's definitely going to race it from the old ones that were old and tired. And if this is the look you're going for, then it's great. If not, there's different options to actually lower it if I wanted to, but you know, that's for another day. Anyways, any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.